Hi, and welcome to Healing with Rose, and my name is Christina Rose, and today I will be doing the toilet paper roll candles and also showing you how much it takes to do each one and how to undo them without wrecking your candle, and also and then I'll also show you that you can make smaller candles out of your cardboard water cups from your bathroom. And those are also at Dollar Tree as well. You get a sleeve for $1, and I'll have to tell you in the video how many you get per count. But let's go ahead and jump on into it, and I'll see you over at the table. So today, we're only going to be using black on candles. And also, I apologize for if the video does not match my voice. I got all done with my video and my voice recording was corrupted. I apologize. So right here in the video, I'm telling you that it takes 1 cup of the ground candle to make each one of the toilet paper roll candles. So that's what I was showing you there. I was saying that I had pre-melted the amount needed for the candles that we were doing so that you didn't have to wait. I'm going to be pouring it into the dish with the 3 toilet paper rolls already covered with the masking tape on the bottom. As I'm doing that, I am using a washcloth instead of my pot holders again. So what I'm actually looking for in my bucket that you see me picking up is I'm looking for the quarter, which is 1/4 of a cup, measuring cup. I am using it to pour some of the wax down inside of the tool. What you're going to see me next do is I am going to kind of just put a little bit in each one, and then I am going to pick them up and I'm going to swirl them. What I'm doing by doing this is coating the bottom of the toilet paper roll and also the sides, trying not to spill it on myself and scald myself. So I'm going to do that for each one of these, and then here in just a minute, as I start to pour the other wax in, you're gonna see something that I was actually not hoping was gonna happen, but I was prepared for it to happen. So you're gonna see me kind of like pick them up after I dump a whole bunch of it in here, and you're gonna see a mess, and I'm gonna show you how to deal with that mess. So as you see, I have already finished pouring the molds. As I pick the one up, I realize that it's coming out the bottom. I try to push down because sometimes what that'll do is it will seal it. I was checking the other ones and they seemed okay at the moment. As I keep trying to work on this other one, it continues to leak and it actually starts to get worse. What I'm going to show you is you can pour it into another one and let it dry. But it ends up becoming a mess for me because of the fact that even the new ones start to leak. So I'm going to let you see how I finally got it to stop. So as you'll see here, I'm actually picking it up and I'm looking at the bottom of it. It actually started to almost immediately start leaking through. So by putting my hand at the bottom of it, my hand is cooler than the wax itself. So what's going to happen is it starts slowly leaking through. It's going to make it almost solidify. So it's going to stop it from leaking. out. Now, if you notice right here, I'm showing you the bottom of where it was leaking out. What you're going to do is you're going to sit the 3 of those off to the side, and you're going to be able to use those later on when you make another batch of candles. But always remember, when you keep these, if they've leaked, they are going to harden so that you're not going to leak the next time you pour into it. But you have to use the same color that you were using when the leak occurred, or otherwise you're going to have a weird funky two-tone candle unless that's what you want. So as you see here, I'm pointing out that I'm going to be putting more stuff into the burner again. I just grabbed the cups for the bathroom. They're little cardboard cups that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I think there's like 35 or 45 in a sleeve, and they're only $1. So these are going to make half candles compared to the full toilet paper roll candles. So I'm going to be doing those next. As I was showing you the dish you can put everything that was in the dish, you just scrape it, throw it back into your melter, and then you can use it as long as you're still working with the same color. So I'm going to show you that after the melting is all completed. Okay, so now as you see here, I brought the dish back over with the toilet paper roll candles that we had just done. I took and I stuck knitting needles, aluminum knitting needles through the middle of them. As they got about, I want to say, a quarter of the way to maybe halfway cool. You want to do this because it makes it a lot easier for you to put your wick in. If you do this when they're completely wet, your knitting needle will slide sideways and it won't stand up. You only want to do it to when it's going to fully stand up inside the candle. Now I'm trying to find out how much it will take to do the cups from the bathroom. Now I did figure out that 2 cups of the wax will do 4 of these small candles. So instead of a cup a candle, you get 2 candles per cup on this one. So I'm just scooping what I can into the cups, and then I will dump what's left after I can't scoop anymore. You're going to notice that the candles are not evenly sized. So I realize I have one oddball because it's not quite enough. So I take and I dump it into the other 4. Now, if I wouldn't have had that one initially, I probably actually would have had a little bit more in each one. Now, if you're wanting to go completely to the top, which I did not do, you'd probably have to do another cup or a half a cup of wax to completely fill these cups, but I was not really wanting a full cup candle. I was just wanting 3/4 of a cup, and then the one was a little bit short, but I think that was because of the fact that extra wax went into that other cup. So as you see here, I am holding up the toilet paper rolls that were in the container drying. They are now hard, and I'm going to melt some more wax for the tea light candles that we're going to do, and after that you'll see me come back. So as you see here, I have the tea lights ready. I have 12 them in a dish, but it ends up only actually filling 10 because of the fact that one of the tea lights ended up leaking as well during this video shoot. Almost everything that could possibly have gone wrong went wrong with this shoot. So as you see right now, I am filling them, and then like I said, I end up with 10 instead of 12 because I tried to save it but I couldn't, so I just ended up with 10. And that is for, again, I think I used 2 cups again. So for 1 cup of the wax, you get 6 tea light candles. So that's how I would have had 12, but I ended up with 10 because I actually technically had 2 that had leaked. But I couldn't save it in enough time. Now, as you see here, I pick up the tea candle and I had dumped it out. You can see the wax on the bottom. And come to find out, the reason why it was leaking is because when I showed in previous video how to start your wick hole while they're semi-wet, I apparently punctured through with my knitting needle. So not only is this a, hey, look what I did so you can see that this happens, but I honestly did not realize that I had poked through at the time. So it's very important that you don't jam your knitting needle all the way through your mold, or otherwise you can't use it. So what I ended up having to do was, I'm going to try to use that mold sometime, but I put a piece of masking tape on the bottom. Hopefully that will hold long enough for it to dry, but we'll find out later on. So I let everything cool. I brought it back to the table. I took everything out but 2 of each kind. So you could see me removing them, so that you yourself can know how to properly remove them from each container. So right here, I am showing you the size difference between each one. So on the left, you see the tea light, then the middle is the cup from the bathroom, and the one that was on the right was the toilet paper roll. So that gives you an idea of how big each candle becomes. Now I'm showing you how to take the tea light out of its container. You just very gently wiggle around the edges to just kind of loosen it up, and then you're going to end up tapping the bottom and it should slide out. If you just got to be very gentle and patient, and they will come out. You just got to coax them. So the more gentle you are with your mold, the more you can use it. If you're being aggressive and you bend it too much, then you can't use it. So now I am poking the bottom part of the hole through each one as soon as you take it out of its mold. So this way you know that you've done them all and you don't forget and you don't crack your candle. So now we're going to work on the paper cup. What I did, I took a pair of scissors and I just snipped a little bit, because the top of the paper cup can be kind of tough to rip, and these candles actually were a little warm yet when I was doing this. So if you unmold them while they are warm, you have to be careful, because if you see right there where I'm running my thumb, the paper cup can, or even the toilet paper roll, can stick to the side of your candle. And again, I'm using the knitting needle to redo the hole for the wick. Again, because you always want to do this when it's not going to crack, because if you do it when it's completely cold, you will crack your candle completely in half and it will be a waste of your time. So next I will show you the toilet paper roll. Okay, so, and the thing is, whenever you make at-home candles, you can have the chance of there being some slight edging on it. So if that's the case, you just run your finger along, like right here. I seen some excess stuff in the middle that I didn't like, so I was just pulling it out. So that can be caused from when you are pushing the knitting needle into the candle when it's on the wetter side. And also the edges of your candle can have a thin layer of candle wax sticking up. I would just run your fingers across it or a straight tool and smooth that out, unless you want the rough look. Now I did notice that there was a gap in that one, so I took some of the wax and I just pushed it back down into the hole a little bit, because when we go later and put the wicks in, I'll be able to fill that spot in with hot wax and it will secure it so that it will not break. Again, we're just making sure the holes are done. And as you see, some stuff came off on the end of that one because the middle was still wet. So you just always clean off your knitting needle as well, so that you're not taking and pushing hard, dry stuff back through your candle. So now we're doing the toilet paper roll, and you just go with the toilet paper roll how it rolls. This one actually had ripped the opposite direction, so I went with that. As you see, the toilet paper roll actually becomes darkened. That is from the oil in the candle affecting the inside of the toilet paper roll. What's neat is it doesn't leak through, but it does discolor it, and it feels really weird and greasy when you're undoing these. Once they completely dry, they do not have a greasy feel to them. And then on the bottom, you always want to be careful as you're undoing the tape, because if it's wet, it will pull part of the bottom of your candle off. And again, we're just going over the top to make sure that everything that's rough is off of there, and redoing the hole. And you'll see there that the bottom was not done and it is wet. So you're careful, you take everything off, you wipe that off, so you have to deal with that later. And now we're going to go to the next one here, and I believe the side of this candle, I think, messes up a little bit, I think. But again, as you see, I have a lot of extra tape on this one. It's because the toilet paper roll actually had a rip in it, but I really wanted to use it, so I just took masking tape and ran up the rip, and it still held. So that will be a good thing for you to do, is check over your toilet paper rolls before you start putting wax in them to try and seal up any holes. This one, the bottom really stuck because I had a lot of tape on there. So, but as you see, it didn't mess up the bottom. And this one actually was a little tough to go through the bottom, and I don't know why. But we just get everything cleaned up, and I am going to show you the colored candles that I have done. So we're going to do that here in just a second. So as you see here, I have a long white candle. This is not a plain candle. This is what I call a geo candle. On the outside, it looks completely white and normal, but as you see right here, there is a stone sticking out. I'm making all different kinds of these with just single stones in them, multiple stones in them. This one actually has a full cup of small bits of all kinds of different stones mixed into this candle. So as it melts, you're going to actually get the stones. So now here are the finished black ones. These are ones that I did a little while ago. What I normally do is I dunk them in white candle wax, and on the side it makes it look like they almost have lacing on them, which makes it look really pretty in my opinion. I also take a little bit and I pour it down the middle to make the wick stay in place on top of the dunking, which holds the bottom in place. Now I could also do this with the color of the candle. I don't know if I'm going to do that because I like the white on the color. Kind of gives it a little bit of a contrast. And I'm showing you some of the other colors I've done as well, which here's the pink, the purple, and the blue. These are considered the smooth candles. I also have orange and yellow. So those are also in the smooth category, and they're very hard, which you can't hear the noise, but they are very hard at this point now. They've cured for over a week. This is one of the candles that I actually broke while trying to punch through it when it was almost completely dry, but I actually was able to save it by fusing it together very carefully with some very hot wax, which was not fun, but I did save the candle. That's going to be for my own personal use. Now these ones right over here, I call them the bubble candles. The reason for this is they're a lot less weight, and they have a more hollow sound to them. This is what happens when you do not let your wax completely melt down to liquid form. It actually is more like an oatmeal. And so then when you pour it, when it dries, there's all these air pockets and it looks like it's been bubbly. So these are what I call my bubble candles. And then you have your smooth candles and then the geo candle. And then, okay, so then we have right here, this is my chakra candle, which is made out of 7 individual tea light candles. This was in the previous video. And in my next video, I'm going to show you how to coat the other candles, put this one completely together. And again, as always, thank you so much for being here. I hope everybody's enjoying these videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please never hesitate. I would love to hear your comments. Again, thank you for joining me today. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. And I'm sorry that it took me so long to get this other video out. Just a lot of things have been going on. And if you've watched my other videos, you understand what I mean by that. So thank you again for being here, and there'll be more videos coming. Thanks. Bye.